The connection between animal research and human damage has been made, and as a result, a new movement seeking the total abolition of vivisection on medical and scientific grounds has been born. But the new anti-vivisectionist movement faces a formidable challenge. Not only does it have to fight the extremely powerful research community and its allies, but also a much less obvious enemy: the many animal organizations which either don't understand what vivisection is all about, or worse yet, have been infiltrated. Infiltrated societies have a vested interest in keeping vivisection alive and strong while pretending that they're fighting it. In order to accomplish this, many thousands of people ready to do something to stop vivisection are attracted as members and then fed misinformation or outright lies which render them ineffectual and thus harmless. At the same time, these well-meaning members support these organizations in style by donating millions of dollars to their constant request for funds. These organizations can be easily recognized. They either push for the regulation or reform of animal experimentation. They object to the nature and/or repetition of some experiments, or they advocate eventual abolition on moral and ethical grounds only. According to a recent report compiled by Mobilization for Animals, the 15 wealthiest animal organizations in the U.S. are sitting on top of more than $140 million. Incredibly, several of these organizations have investments in companies which do toxicology testing and/or experiments on animals. Under the leadership of these organizations, animal experimentation has grown as fast as their bank accounts. The freezing of such enormous resources, coupled with the stubborn refusal to confront vivisectors with the devastating weapon of scientific fraud, constitute crimes which can only be compared to the crimes committed by the vivisectors themselves. The attack against vivisection must concentrate on scientific and medical arguments and practically ignore the moral considerations. The reason for this is simple. The researchers justify their use of animals on a scientific premise. They claim that animal research saves human lives. Therefore, attacking vivisection on moral grounds does not challenge in any way the foundation on which animal research rests, and it actually ensures its survival by reinforcing the perception that this is merely a conflict between scientific progress and animal welfare. But a choice between human and animal life has to be made. How can we effectively fight with philosophical concepts such as animal rights, the sanctity of life, justice, morality, religion, speciesism, as long as most people believe that animal research cures sick babies? Besides, moral arguments have not worked for the last 100 years. Moral considerations failed to stop animal research in its infancy, when only a handful of animals were being used, and when the monies involved were very modest. Clearly, moral considerations will not stop the huge industry that animal research is today. Making sure that the public learns the scientific facts is the first step towards abolition. That's why the new anti-vivisectionist must be informed in order to be effective. Reading Hans Rusch's books, Slaughter of the Innocent and Naked Empress, is essential. The new movement is based on the information they contain.
Well, I was honored to write the preface to that book because that book, I think, is, if you'll pardon the religious metaphor, the name of the book is Slaughter of the Innocent. Slaughter of the Innocent is going to be, if it is not already, the Bible of the animal movement. I advise everybody to read it.
A new element in the fight has been the birth of the Animal Liberation Front. This incredible footage taken by the ALF itself shows the liberation of breeches from the University of California at Riverside on April 20th, 1985. this raid, the largest to date anywhere, 1,016 animals were freed. Without harming anyone, the ALF has not only provided conclusive evidence on film of the incredible quackery going on in the name of science, but has also warned the research community that the new breed of anti-vivisectionists are willing to take risks to bring about the abolition of vivisection.
The battle horse of modern medicine, animal experimentation, is dead. It has been dead for a long time, but the jokers in charge of research pretend they don't know it. It is time that all this nonsense ceased. It is time to bury the corpse, lest the stench poison us all. In sum, it is time to ask for the abolition of vivisection now and not in 200 years.
Indeed, total abolition will come simply because there is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has been long overdue. This is Britches today. He's totally recovered. His eyes were unstitched, and he can see well now. He's happy now in his new home somewhere in America.